Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So basically on this day, it was a Sunday and I was getting ready for church. And what I like to do, the first thing I do after I do my bed is get everything laid down on the bed. One thing about me, guys, small things will delay me. I mean it, like really tiny things. So what I do is I lay everything that I know I'm going to need and use in the morning before I take a bath. And then that way, as soon as I'm done bathing, everything I need is going to be in sight. So I was just layering my cosmetics, my perfumes, everything that I need after I've showered. And then what also takes time in the morning is me making my coffee. So I decided to do this before I took a bath. So I made my coffee. And guys, I've been trying to cut down on coffee because when I went to do my teeth whitening, the dental therapist told me that coffee is one of the things that stain your teeth. And I was like, valid, because I drink coffee like a sea addict. I swear, guys, like I would drink 2 to 3 cups a day. And I picked up this horrible habit in uni when I was studying and trying to stay awake and stuff like that. So I've been trying to cut down. So now I try and have coffee only 3 times a week, and Sunday being one of the days. So yeah. Anyways, so I wanted to tell you guys about the story of how I found Christ while you guys watch this, if anybody is interested, because I was one of those kids who would be forced to go to church up until I was, I'd say, 17. So yeah, it's an interesting story actually, and I just thought I should share it while this video is rolling. So prior to me starting my A level, I was 17 years old. I had lost my mom a year prior when I was 16. And so at this point, she's been gone for a year or so. And I have a new mom. I have a stepmom. And after I wrote my O levels, honestly, I just remember I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to continue with school actually. But she was on that tip. An academic, she was one of those boss ladies at her workplace. So obviously she believed in education. I, on the other hand, was going through, I don't even know what to call that. I was an adolescent, very rebellious. I just lost my mom and I was blaming it on the traumatic experience, but to be honest, a lot of it was just me misbehaving. So I convinced my dad, who was pretty cool, that I have 20 minutes to get ready. So I need to set a time up so that I'm not late. Well, I am late, but not too late. I didn't have to go on with my studies. I didn't have to do my A levels. Anyways, fast forward, she comes and convinces him that no, I'm such a bright student. There's no reason for me not to continue and do A level and eventually go to university, So they both agree to ship me off to a new high school because I think, myself included, they just didn't want me to go back to the school I was. Okay, so cool, boom. And to be honest, it was necessary for me to change my environment, I guess. So they shipped me off to a whole new city, a whole new school, and a whole new environment for my A level. And when I tell you, that is when I got introduced to the word D for depression. OMG. Shit was crazy, guys. Honestly, I have flashbacks to this point because not only was I in a whole new environment, I was not okay, guys. I was not fine. I was not coping. And a lot had just changed drastically for me. I was in a new school. I had to make new friends. I had to forget about my old friends because this particular school was so strict. We couldn't have phones. So for 3 months at a time, I was gone, radio silence, couldn't communicate with any of my people. And so it was, of course, a chance for me to, turn a new leaf and change my life. So, in the midst of all that loneliness, isolation, depression, and just downright unhappiness, I found God. Allow me to digress a little bit from the story time. I will continue just now. I just wanted to say that getting your wig customized, getting your lace customized will actually help if you're someone who is learning to install your hair by yourself. Because I realized one of the things that was making my installs look very crusty was the fact that I was working with nothing basically. I was working with a terrible frontal. I was working with a terrible lace. So yeah, that's just me celebrating how I nailed the first side. Anyways, let's continue. This was a good 10 years ago, and now that I'm not a baby Christian anymore, I understand how it is that I found God in that environment, because it is in our isolation, it is in our weakest point, it is when you have died to self and everything that you worship, that God can finally step in and do the great work in you. So I literally had to be finished, guys. I was finished as a person. I was so unhappy to the extent where I thought that unaliving myself was the solution because of how drastic my life had changed. I'd gone from living in a nuclear family with just mom, dad, and my sister to literally the remaining three of us being separated and being in literally 3 different parts of the country. My dad still at home, my sister also shipped to uni, and myself in boarding school. And it was crazy. It was crazy. I remember there was no entertainment at the school, like I already mentioned. We weren't allowed phones or any communication with the outside world, emails, Facebook, nothing. So literally, you wouldn't get to see your family unless it was one visiting day in 3 months or when you went back home. So because of that environment, the only person I had was God. And that's when I started taking the church services we had at school seriously. I listened to the word the pastors used to come and preach to us, and I gave my life to Christ. I started learning about praying, fasting, reading the word of God, fellowshipping, you name it, guys, literally. And to anyone who is a baby Christian, anything who's curious about God, anyone who's going through a phase of isolation, of just like, things just going south in your life, or drastic changes that leave you so hopeless you wonder what is even the purpose of life. Guys, that is literally your call home. I experienced the reckless love of God where He will chase you down. He will chase you down. I felt Him come for me. I felt like I was the one sheep and He had left all other 99 flock for me. So yeah, that's how I found Christ 10 years ago, and I've never turned back since. It is, of course, a rocky road. It is never easy to walk with Christ. It is not promised to be easy either, but it is the most fulfilling relationship I've ever had. I healed my childhood traumas. I healed the loss of my mom. I learned to live with grief. I learned to accept the will of God. I learned to accept that many may be the plans in my heart, but it is His that prevails. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys.
He's not admitting